Today I'm going to discuss neoevolution, some of the background of it, one of the specific technologies associated with it, and the moral and ethical implications of it. So neoevolution is the idea that technological advances are shaping the future of humanity and evolution in general. Some areas neoevolution is taking place in are those of genetic modification, prosthetic advancement, and controlling technology with brainwaves. After reading the text and watching the TED Talks and our resources, I believe the origins of the beginning of neoevolution came from the natural desire of humans to enhance and prolong life, as seen in the two examples Michael Best gave in Icarus 2.0, of the stroke victim who learned to communicate using his mind and the computer, and the young girl who began life not being able to leave her home because she was susceptible to every illness in the world. And then technology was able to help her body create the missing element so that she could safely enter the world. However, as always, great good can always be accompanied by great evil, and neoevolution is no exception. But because it is still in its infancy, it is too early to tell just what the long-term ramifications will be. I found it interesting that in the article, The Prolongation of Life, that it has been a scientific mystery as to why women live so long past their childbearing years, as well as the rest of the observations about the way reproduction is changing as technology advances. I believe that the most basic part of evolution would have to be reproduction, which we as humans have been gaining increasing control over. Because of this, I would argue that birth control, as well as the advancement in the field of fertility, are definitely an example of technologies that are influencing human evolution. With the advancement of these two technologies, unwanted pregnancies can be avoided, and people are now able to choose when and even if they wish to have children. The freedom to choose when you will procreate has given people the opportunity to gain an education, establish a career, and settle into a home before having children, which theoretically may lead to a stabler environment to raise said children. However, with this shift in how we begin our families may lead to less children being born, because people may choose to have less children or none at all. Although with our current estimated world population, this may not be such a drawback. In the case of fertility treatments, couples who are unable to conceive children can now realize their dream of becoming parents, which is wonderful for them. Unfortunately, as mentioned in our reading, this step may not be taken until later in life, at which point reproductive cells may be damaged or susceptible to defects due to age, which could of course be a hindrance to human evolution. These therapies also rely heavily on the use of hormone manipulation, which could be harmful to the person taking them. It is difficult to pinpoint all the moral and ethical implications of neoevolution, because in many ways it boils down to your personal code. People of certain religious backgrounds object because it violates their own sense of how humanity should progress. In many cases, furthering the scientific discoveries relies on the use of stem cells, which come from human embryos, which some argue sacrifices a human life. Myself, I feel that because these embryos are the extra fertilized eggs from in vitro fertilization and are eventually destined to become medical waste, it would be better to gain knowledge from them than to just do away with them. Another very valid example of the ethics of neoevolution is that it can further separate social classes. Because much of this technology is very expensive to access, it will of course be more available to those with larger bank accounts. This may change the saying from only the strong survive to only the rich survive. In the case of birth control and the advancement of increasing fertility, I feel that we should certainly continue pursuing these technologies. Birth control allows people the freedom to choose when they will have children, which may lead to more successful lives and prevent unwanted pregnancies. And in the case of increasing fertility for infertile couples, How amazing is it that we have developed ways to bring such joy to those who quite possibly could have never done it on their own? In the case of neoevolution in general, I am sort of on the fence. I think it is pretty scary that we can mess with our genetic codes. If it goes wrong, I think it could go very wrong. However, I also believe in progress, and a part of me really wants to see where this research will take us. So the long and short of my feelings regarding this progression is that I don't know how I feel about it. So